Welcome back to Crew W Racing and Turn 1 Tuesday. I believe it's episode 9, but I'm not sure. So we're going to call this one Redemption because we definitely had a decent night Saturday night. So we went from Passion Lost to Redemption. It's funny how that works. So sometimes you just gotta sit in your seat and think about things and go from there. So basically Saturday, we got there hot lapped. First hot lap session, we had a few issues. First thing was, I was pretty dumb. And in the thrash of changing motors and all that, I didn't get the radiator secured. But I did not know that until after I had another issue. The car just shut off on me completely. No power, no nothing. So it died in turn 4, coasted around to turn 2, and so they pushed me back into the infield. When I get there, the guy's like, "Your radiator's on the ground." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." But that's on me. I never secured the top. So it was a blessing in disguise, honestly. Because who knows how many more laps I would have drugged the radiator. So we had that. Get back to the pits. Trying to figure out why the car shut off. I know I said it was ground, but trying to figure out why the car had no power. And I thought it was an alternator. I thought the alternator was not working, but at the end of the day, the ground clamp back behind me was just a little loose, and I've never messed with the ground side. I really haven't messed with the battery. I got a master shutoff switch right there, and that's how I kill all my power. So I don't mess with the battery connections. The last time I messed with the battery connections was last year when I put a new battery in the car. So you have that. But then we went out for the second hot lap session, which was actually qualifying. And I just got pinned in behind another car. And he was kind of all over the track. I'm not complaining. It's his track. I tried backing up to try to get a good lap. I just couldn't back up enough and got a bad lap. Which, okay, in some circle track world, that's a okay thing. But in our world, we have a full inversion. That's not a good thing. Because you got 0.2 of a second until you break out. So basically it prevents people from laying off and qualifying to basically get a better position. So I got a bad time. I knew I had a bad time. Plus, I was coming off the track, and they told me I was smoking again, which we'll get into that in a minute. I think I figured out the issue, and a lot of it's been on me. Granted, that old motor had ring issues. I know it did. We would go from there. I already knew my plan at that point. I'm not going to run the heat. I'm going to run the feature. And with me having a bad time, I already knew it'd be better just to take the tail. And that way, if they black flag me or anything like that, that way I'm not in the way of anybody. I can just pull off and no big deal. Well, what ended up happening is the car didn't really smoke during the feature. I guess it started smoking the last couple laps, and I'll show you why. So I ran all but like 4 laps of the feature. The only reason I pulled off was after the last yellow, I went to get back on the gas, get about to $4,000, and maybe 4,500, and ignition's breaking up. Like I'm dead on a rhythmometer. So let's go ahead and go back and show you what I found. I'm not sure about you, but I'm pretty dang sure oil don't fire. I mean, granted, this stuff is not in the greatest condition, but oil don't fire. I'm pretty sure of that one. So you have that going on. So what else I have figured out, there's 2 different issues. Let's head up here. Number 1, O2 sensors I hooked up. It's not even in the wiring harness. So we're going to fix that. Number 2, that way there is no camera tricks. Look at that oil level. Yeah, that's not good. The oil's overfilled. And I thought this was a 5-quart system. It ended up being a 4.5. So I've added an extra quart, maybe a little bit more, to, fill up the sloshing to the right, but yeah, we overfilled it, and could possibly be too thick oil on top of it all, running 1540 in an F series. So the plan moving forward there is get rid of the 1540 and put 5 quarts in it on a 4.5 system, extra half a quart just to cover the banking. We should be fine. Just a lot of learning curve here. And the other thing that I have been doing, I've been talking to a lot of people and listening, and sometimes that's good, but sometimes you just got to run your own program on top of it all and figure it out from there. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to do some adjustments. Obviously, I just put a new distributor cap on here and rotor. We're going to get the wires on, new plugs, drop the oil, change oil, and do some minor adjustments this week and see if we can't get it better. And part of it is I'm still feeling the car out. Still learning the car because it's set up totally different than where I was last year or the year before. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, and thank you for following me along on the journey. So a few things I did leave out of this Turn 1 Tuesday was something pretty cool happened. I went down to my favorite pit down in Enfield and racing buddies, racing family, pretty much. And that's the one thing that I was talking about with South Bend closing is the racing family is not the same anymore. It's not, home track. Yeah, you have your disagreements, whatever, but you guys are still a family at the end of the day. Well, with the split that ended up happening with South Bend is cars went to Plymouth, cars went to New Paris, and then cars went up to M40. So take it however you wanna. Basically, the racing family split. It is what it is. You're gonna find the home that's closest to you, or you're gonna find whoever you like more, whatever the case may be. It's definitely a different situation. So anyhow, we go down. I go down. I'm sitting there talking, and they're like, "Yeah, we seen your video last week, and you talking about this." And right there, it's just like, that's awesome. That's great. So it was kind of a shock, surprise. And it's not really just losing a home, it's losing the family. If you ever watched the Blues Brothers, you know, they went to jail and the band disbanded and all that, and they had to go back and get the band back together. It, kind of the same thing. It's like the band's just gone. Is what it is, but at the end of the day, it's not the same. So basically, Racing Family is special. Period. So we're going to leave it off there. And we will see you next Tuesday.